Okay, so it says I'm live. All right, so what I think what I'm about to do is hop out of this one. Let me see. In stream. I'm about to hop out of this one. There should be another live coming up. Let's see. That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. I need to change it to that camera. There we go. That's way better. Sheesh, that camera was a little. All right, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, we back on. I can share my screen now. This about to be smooth. All right, bet. Cool. My bad for the technical difficulties. But now that we are back on, we can get to going. All right. So once again, we are building a Node.js application, and that Node.js application is going to be a web scraper. So the web scraper is just pretty much just going to go to Instagram, grab some data from whoever we want to look up, without us even have to log in to Instagram. This is dope. So the first part that we should start off with is that all applications are actually back-end applications, and then that front end's like a website front end. And most people think that the website is the front end, but the actual website is the back end. All the logic and all the whatnot is happening in the back end. Front end is just a nice little way for regular people to use the back end. So basically, when we start off creating apps, we create the back end and then we just throw a front end on top of it. So what we're about to do is create that back end first. Let me share my screen to y'all real quick. Start sharing screen. We're gonna share that screen. Cool. All right. Definitely. That's kind of dope. All right, this screen. do it like that. All right, now we're gonna do my screen. I can bring the screen down. There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay. And let's move this one over here. All right, bet. All right, so what we got right here is me was looking up how to share my screen on Facebook. I'm dead. Okay. More so here. Right there. Trying to switch this motherfucker. Let's see. Back here. Fuck it. All right, we here. Oh, I see what I gotta do. Okay. There we go. Cool. All right, bet. So now I can see the screen more. My bad. All right. So now what we on is that we need to figure out. All right, so yeah, first we need to get a Node.js web server. So let's pull up our first Node.js web server. Let's get it. So first thing we gotta do, Visual Studio. We're gonna open up Visual Studio, but actually the first thing that we need to do is hit the Finder, and not even the Finder, the terminal. Cool. There we go. Got the terminal, and the first thing I like to do is press ls, see where I'm at. ls again, so I know I am under the directory pwd users Nate, and so now what I'm about to do in this directory is simply cd into my documents folder. So we're gonna go cd into the documents, and then I'm gonna look inside the documents, and inside the documents I don't really have anything for my live stream, so I'm gonna just create a directory for live streams. So I'm calling live streams like that, and then I'm gonna cd into that directory as well. Live streams. Cool. So now that I'm in the live streams, actually first let me do a deactivate conda. Oh, it's conda deactivate. Like that. Right. So in the conda stuff, doing some machine learning. All right, cool. So now that I'm in my live streams folder, what I like to do is create a folder for each project that I want to do. So this is the first project. What we're gonna call this project is Instagram Scraper. So what I do is create a directory, make there is create a directory. So make there, call it Instagram, Insta Scraper. That, and then now I can cd into my Insta Scraper. Into my Insta Scraper. All right, bet. So the first thing to do, as you can see, there's no code in this file. So what I like to do is open up Visual Studio Code. And so I do ls, and code is the keyword for opening up Visual Studio Code in the terminal. So open up code like this. Got me a little folder, and what you can see is that I am inside over there. I'm inside my Insta folder right there. I wonder if I can move this around. Oh no, I can't. Okay, I just popped like that. That's kind of cool though. All right, so I'm in my Insta Scraper folder. So the first thing I want to do in my Insta Scraper folder is go ahead and do npm init. This initializes my repository as an npm repository. So I'll go here and do npm init like these. Cool. And so it asks me, the first thing it asks me is, what do I want to name my project? It calls it the package name, but it's the project. So what do I want to name my project? Well, I'm going to name it, as you can see right here, it already has Insta Scraper in parentheses. So if I just press enter, that will be the default. And so that's all I'll do. Insta Scraper, and Insta Scraper came from the title name over here, Insta Scraper at the top. Ask me what version. I'm just go version 1, description. I'm gonna call this this package will scrape Instagram for a specific user and return their data to our backend, which will then be presented on the front end. Presented on the front end. Cool. Bet. Oops, didn't need that quotation mark. Entry point, and I'll call it server.js. So basically, where do our project start at? Server.js and test command. Git repository. Asking me for a Git repository. So actually, let me go to GitHub real quick. Down the mark here, and then we create a Git repository. And I'm going to call it Scraper. Insta underscore scraper, like these. Instagram scraper for specific accounts. Okay, then we call this a public repo. Add a readme, a git ignore, and then the git ignore will put node. Cool. Created the repo. Let's go and copy this over here. And now it's asking me for my git repo. We say right there, git and keywords. I don't have any author. Let's go Nate Baker. Actually, we'll call it street coder Nate. Coder Nate. Right there. Bang. Okay, and then license like that. It'll ask you, is everything okay? And as you'll see right about here, it says about to write to users, street coder Nate, documents, live stream, and scraper package.json. Basically, meaning is about to create a package.json with all of this information that it just asked me, and it's asking me, is this okay? And I'm going to say yes. So now, as you can see over here, package.json was created, and now I have my package.json that describes my my project right now. And one more thing. Okay, so now that we got our package.json, I'm going to connect this repository to my GitHub repository so I can put my code in the cloud. So the first thing that I want to do is first initialize this as a Git repository. So I'll say git init. So now that as a Git repository, I'll say git remote add. And so this is going to saying git remote is calling a remote function for Git. And what that does is says is well, now you're saying it's calling a remote function or the remote library, and in the remote library there's a function. There's multiple functions you can add, you can remove, you can do other things on a remote. What is a remote? A remote is like GitHub, Bitbucket, all those other places and whatnot. So we have a remote, and we're going to tell it to add. So saying git remote add is going to say, okay, what are we adding? We're adding a remote host, and so now we need a URL to our remote host. But we're going to say that URL inside of a variable name. So when we say git remote add, we have to give it a variable name. So most people say origin, but I say GitHub because you'll see that whenever you can add multiple Git remotes. And so I'm gonna add this remote as GitHub, and then I'm gonna give it my GitHub URL to my Git remote. And now this is connected to my Git remote, and I can say git pull GitHub main. And now this just pull this main branch from GitHub, and I can say git branch -m. It's going to be main. I'm setting my main branch to main instead of master. And now that I'm on main, I can say git status. Also, you see that package you see that readme and that git ignore was added when I did the git pull. So now I'm about to add my git package. I'm about to add my package.json by doing git add. Git add package.json. Cool. And now I'll do a git commit -m, creating a version, and I'll just say that this version is my initial project setup. Now I can push this code up to GitHub, git push, and where am I pushing it to? To GitHub, and I'm going to push it to the main branch. Like that. And now my initial code is on GitHub. So what I mean by that, if I come back over here, refresh, you see that package.json is here. This is the package.json I created on my local, and now it's on my remote. They are both connected. Dope. Okay, so next what are we going to do? We are creating a Node.js web server. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means we need to create a server, so that somebody can connect to, so that our front end can connect to, and run some commands when a user puts in an Instagram username. And so in order to create that web server, we're going to use the Express package, which is an NPM package. So in order to use the Express package, we need to install Express. Express is going to help us create a Node.js web server. So in order to create or install Node.js packages, we use NPM, which is the Node Package Manager, NPM install. And so we say NPM install, and what I'm going to install is Express. I spelled it wrong. And it actually installed something called Express, but what I can do is call npm uninstall. And what I'm going to uninstall is that Express with one S, and I'm going to install. And as you can see in the dependencies, it went away. So what I'm going to do is actually install the right Express that I'm looking for, which is npm. Let's install Express like that. Cool. So now I have the Express server right here. And also what I'm going to go do is install NodeMon, so that I don't have to keep restarting my server. npm install, and let's go NodeMon. And I'm going to do -d for a dependency, a dev dependency. Cool. And as that's installing, I'm going to come here and do a start script. So start, and this would be npm start, or this would be node server.js. And then I'm come here and also do dev, and this would be NodeMon server.js. Cool. Did I do something wrong? Failed to say package. The contents of the file is newer. Please compare of which file. Overwrite. Okay. Cool. Dope. So now that I have that, I can run my npm, or I can't run npm. All right, so I just put these scripts here so that I can run them later. So now I need to create a server, and I said that my entry file is going to be my server.js. So I need to create a server.js file. I'll go server, I'll go .js, boom, cool. So my server.js file, I need to create my web server. So the way that we create our web server in Express is that we first need to import the Express package. Express package, cool. And so the way we import the Express package is we go const express equals express, equals express. Come on, equals required, and you put in parentheses express. Cool. Got the Express packet. Bada boom, bada bam. Now that we got the Express packet, what we want to do is create our application. So create a server, node server with Express. So the way that we do that is say const, and we'll call this application, and we'll set that equal to Express, and we'll instantiate that server. Cool. So now we have an app that's a server. In order for our app to get connections, we need it to listen. So start the app for listening. Oh, connections. All right, cool. Okay. So the way that we do that is app.listen, and we pass in a port number, which we're going to call const. We're going to go port, and we're going to set the port equal to process.env, and we'll call it we'll go server port, server underscore port, or we'll call the port that's open 3000, like that. So we'll pass in the port here, and then we'll pass in callback function here, and all we'll say is console.log, and we'll do back pick, and we'll say server started and listening, port number, and then we'll do the concatenation. We'll call port like these. All right, so now we can start the application by doing npm run dev. Okay, so npm run dev. As you can see, that runs our node, and then you hear it say server started and listening on port 3000. The reason it chose port 3000 is because I never set the environment variable for server port. And so what I'm gonna do is actually go set that environment variable for server port. But in order to set that environment variable, I'm going to use a package called .env, which helps us create environment variables. So I'm gonna do that's a Node.js package again. So npm install .env, like that. Install it. Cool. And so now anywhere that I want to use .env, all I do is do a require statement like this, require. And what I'm going to require is .env, and I will do a .config. So now what this does, it says there's a .env package, and this package allows me to create a .env file, which I can do right here, .env file, and this allows me to put my environment variables in this file. So what I'm gonna do is create an environment variable called server port, and I'm gonna set that equal to, let's call that, let's just do 5,000, so you know. So now if I come over here, what this line does right here is if the environment variable is set, then choose the environment variable, and if it's not, then choose 3000. And so before, the environment variable wasn't set, so you saw what was printed out. Well, you saw 3000 was printed out, but now you will see 5000 is printed out. Oh, all right, install that. Now you will see here. Now you will see. Oh yeah, so before you saw 3000 is printed out, and now you will still see 3000 printed out until I restart this. And now you hear, and something went wrong. It said, no, my command not found. Bro, what? Oh, did I uninstall? I guess I see. I must have uninstalled now. Okay. npm install node mod. I do not see it here. Okay, cool. Yep, right there. Oh, I see what I did. Yep. Okay, and now we can run. Dope. And now you see it's starting on 5,000. Bet. So now that we started on 5,000, let's hit it to the server. All right, cool. So we started on 5,000, which means that our server started on 5,000. And actually, let's do HT started on port, yada yada, and let's do /n and say connect at, and we'll do http://localhost, and then do $$ port. That. So now, if you look in the you look over here, you will see that boom, we can connect, but you'll see it says cannot slash. The reason it can't get slash is because we don't have a route set up for the slash route. So what we need to do is configure our our application to have a route for get in the path slash. So the way that we configure our route is, or our app is, we just simply say app.get, and we'll say the route is slash, and what we're gonna do is say res, and then we'll say require, or we'll say request and response. And okay, and then all we'll do is just do response.send for now. And we'll send back what up, though? What up, though? Cool. And come back over here, refresh. You see now, what up, though? Was sent back. Cool. So we made a quick little web server. See, it didn't take that long. All we needed to do was get Express on here. And so now that we hit a point, what I like to do is say, all right, I'm going to make a commit, which means just a version. So if I ever need to come back to the point where I first started up my web server, this is the commit that I can do, or this is the commit I can come back to. So the way I do that is just come up here real quick. I'll open up another terminal and I'll do a get status. And what you'll see is it says this file was modified while these files were added. And actually on my GitHub, I don't want my package.json even there. So what I'm gonna do is come here, come to my get ignored, come all the way down here, and add my package-lot.json. I don't want that one on there. So come there. Anything you don't want on your repo, you come up there and do that. And if you see get status, you see now that I don't even say nothing about the package-lot. So now I can just do a get add-a, and then I do a get status again, and everything should be green. Then I do a get commit -m, and I'll say server up and working. So, command found. That's what I did this at commit get commit -m server up and working, and then we do that. All right, cool. And now I can do a get push. And where am I pushing it to? I'm pushing it to GitHub. And I'm going to push it to which repo? The main one, like that. Okay. So now I come back over to my GitHub. And you will see that my server code is there. Cool. My server code there, we are cooking. All right, let's get back to what we was doing on the server. So we have what up, though, but that's not what we actually want to see when we come to this page. When we come to the home page, what we want to see is a little HTML page that asks us to put in some data, right? So what we need to do is we need to send back an HTML page instead of sending back just what up, though. So what we're going to do is create a folder called public, and public is where you put usually all of your HTML. This is where you put your front end code, right? And so we got public, and inside of public, we're just going to create. All right, we got to create a public folder. And inside of public, we're going to create another folder for our template. Templates is like HTML. We're going to call this one. All right, call this one a new folder. And we'll call it templates. And while we at it, we'll also create another folder, and we'll call this one styles for our CSS. And then we'll create another one, and we'll call this one JS for our JavaScript. If we have any, I think we will. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. So we got our templates here, styles there, and our JS there. So in our templates, we're going to create an index.html file. And this is going to be the index. This is going to be the HTML file that we send to the front end when they hit our slash application off the GET request. So index.html, like these, we're just come in here and do basically like that. Take each little shortcuts that Visual Studio gives us, and what we will call this is Instagram scraper. And in the body, all we'll do is just have an H1, and we'll call that welcome to, just call welcome to the Instagram Reaper 1.0.0. Dope. All right. So this is what I want to serve when I come to the slash route. But if I come to the slash route, as you can see, if I put slash at the end, I still get what up though. I need this page to be sent, right? So how do I page? So if I come back to the server, well, we see right here that I'm sending what up though. What I can actually do is called send file. What I can do is actually send a file to the front end. And so the file that I want to send, let's actually see how we use send file, because I'd be forgetting how to send like static files. So send static HTML express. Okay, and we come here and it will show us how to do it real quick. So what we want to do is to use multiple static asset directories called express.static middleware function multiple times. So we need to set the express.static. Yeah, here we go. To serve static files such as images, CSS files, and JavaScript files, use the express.static built-in middleware function and express. The function signature is root. The root argument specifies the root directory from which to serve the static assets. For more information, okay, so yeah, we usually just do static or public, like you see mine. So that's where all my static info is going to be. So I'll just come over here. All I did is just copy that, and then I'll come down here and it says use that. Use express.static. Cool. Let's see if I come back over here, everything's smooth. We're using express.static, and it says that my static repo is in the public folder, which is right here. That's smooth. Cool. So now if I come over here, I should be able to serve, I should be able to serve my actual file. Let's see. So now it says, now you can load the files that are in the public directory. So actually, let's actually try to put an image inside the public directory, or let's just try to put a CSS file inside the public directory. So we'll come here and I'll just do styles.css like that, and save it. And all I'll do, actually, let's go get a CSS reset while I'm here. CSS reset, cool. And I always use this one. Let's do that. Scroll down. And this is just going to reset my CSS in the browser to the basic. And so I know if my static directory is working, if I can get to my CSS reset. I'll call this one CSS reset. Don't know what a CSS reset is, check out my videos. It's a bunch. I explain it on there. Okay, so CSS reset. So basically now what I should be able to do is come to my local host, which is right here. Localhost, and I should be able to go styles, or no, I should go public / styles, STY, styles/styles.css, and it should pull up my CSS page. And I get /public / styles/styles.css. Let's see. Oh, it can't get it because I don't have that. I don't have a getter for that. Okay, so I shouldn't be able to get it because I don't actually have a get request or a get request configured for that route, which would make sense. Okay, so what I would have to technically do is link to the styles.css page on this one, where it says, let's go link, and we'll say styles.css, but it is actually in a /styles and styles.css. That one, cool, that file, that. All right. So what I want to do now is actually serve this HTML file where it says send file here. And so what I was doing was here. Okay. So use public. All right. Use to create a virtual path prefix, yada, yada. We don't want all of that. All right. So now I should just be able to say send file, right? And let me just do that. Let's say send file. And if we go send file, where's the file at? Let's just right now just do it like this. This is not what you want to do, but I'm going to do it like this for now. Template slash index dot HTML. Oh, what the fuck is that? Okay, cool. There we go. Now we're gonna come back over here and we're gonna go back to slash type error path must be absolute or specify root to res.send file. Did I not do that? Okay. So let me just go. Oh wait, that's why I didn't put public in front. Okay, let's try it now. Nope, still ain't get it. What are we trying to do here? What if I just do that? All right. Res.send file. Yeah, as you can see, this is the life of a computer scientist. Googling your way through the shit. Okay, here we go. Res.send file. They try to do the same shit I did. An alternative has been listed yet that worked for me. If you have to resolve with either separating strings or just going with the whole path. App.get, send file path.resolve. Then we do source app index. Like yeah, access to the path. I'm just gonna use the underscore during that. Plus public slash template come back here. All right, bet we got it. Welcome to Scraper. All right, cool. And we inspect the page, and we should see our sources. We should also see our styles that CSS pop up. Cool, we got our styles that CSS right here. It's our reset. So we got everything that we need from the back end pertaining to our front end. So now what we can do is first turn on this light is now what we're gonna do is starting our front end together. And so our front end pretty much, well, actually, let's get our back end. We don't really got to get our front end together too much. What we know is that our front end is going to send back data to our back end. And basically, the data that it's going to send back is just a simple name. Well, that's for the first one. So we need a route. The front end sends that name to the back end. Because what that back end is what it's going to do is going to take that name and then run it inside this Instagram scraper. So we're going to configure a post request. So we're going to say app.post. So that's what type of request it is. It's a post request. We'll configure a post request, and the post request will be it'll be find user. That's what it'll be. So slash find user like that. And we'll simply do res and then or request and then res. And what we'll be doing is okay. And so right now, all we can do is just do res dot JSON, and we'll do message, and we'll just say okay. So basically, if anybody hits this route with a post request, we're just gonna return res.okay, or we're just gonna return a message, and it will say okay, cool. But one more thing that we want to do up here is say app.use, and what we want to use is the express.body parser. Is it express.body parser? Body parser. Or no, it's app.body parser. App.body parser. Or is it just body parser? I think I gotta import or install body parser. Use body parser express. Yep, you gotta install it. Let's go install body parser real quick. Cool. Wow, that's installing. Cool. We'll come up here and go const. And call it body parser is equal to required. We're gonna require the body parser. Cool. And then we'll come over here with the app.use body parser. Okay. Body parser dot JSON. I think I did that right. We got app.use body.json. Okay, yep, there we go. App.use body parser.json parses application JSON. Cool. That so that's going to parse our JSON. So we can send JSON now, and we can also parse it from the front end. That's dope. So actually, if the front end connects to us, let's simply see what type of request they're going to send. So what we can do is just say, let's do a rec dot body dot, and we'll just say it's going to be called insta-name, the name they send us. And let's just console.log that to see what it is. Cool. So they're going to send us a name called insta-name. And low-key, we don't have our front end built, but what we can do is create this thing called a REST file. And we just call it test.rest. We create this REST file real quick. And in this REST file, actually, I don't even think I got it installed. Let me install this REST extension, REST client. I already got it. So let me just see an example. Yep, right here. I need to make a post request. Thank you. And come over here. Cool. I got this REST client, and the way that you can check your request is just simply come here as if you was in the browser. You say post request like that. It's like localhost. I don't know. I keep saying host. Localhost.com/ and what was the route that we were doing? We were doing find user and its application JSON, and it's a post request, and inside the JSON was, what was the data called? The data was called insta name. And right here, we'll just say my insta name. It will say street coordinate. That. And we can send this request. Oops. Didn't need that one. We can send this request by by clicking send request. And we sent it's localhost. It's not even .com. It's localhost. What was we at? 5,000. There we go. Yeah. Localhost 5,000. Send the request. and it's HTTP, not HTTPS. Now it's in the request. Bang. 200, we got our OK message, which means we were able to connect to our post request right here. And if you don't believe me, we can also connect to our GET request. We can also do a GET request one. So let's just copy this, bring this down here. Let's do a GET request. GET, and we got the URL. And we'll do a GET request on slash. And when we do GET request, we don't need anything else. I think we need to separate this like this. Cool. And now we do a GET request. Get HTTP. Oh, remove that. Okay, cool. Now send the request. Then you'll see we got the HTML over here. So cool. We got our post request we can send. We got our request we can send. If you used to Postman or Insomnia, it's pretty much what that is right here. But you can do it right inside of your browser. And so cool. We got those two. Things installed. So we got our front end, we got our index.html being able to sit to our front end and is able to get our CSS file. Cool. We also have our server that's serving our find users information. And so now, and we know the front end can connect to it and send it, and we can grab that data and are reprinting that to the console. My bad, that was one thing that I didn't check. Yep, we can print it to the console right there. You see Street Coder Nate is printed to the console. So now that we print it to the console, what we can do is take that name and put that name into an Instagram parser, and that Instagram parser is going to return to us some data. So what we're going to do is go find an Instagram parser on npm library. So what we do is do npm Instagram parser. Instagram parsers. Okay, let's see what type of Instagram parsers they have. Dope thing about like just fucking npm and like front end or just technology is that open source is just like look something up, whatever software you need, you can go get it. Okay, so here's one called Instagram parser. With this module, you can search on Instagram a single hashtag and grab the results. You will get an image and video links. All right, we don't want that one. Instagram parser for accounts. Instagram parser for accounts. Okay, so here's one, Scraper Instagram. Let's see what this does. Scraper Instagram, scrape data from Instagram without applying the authentication API. So this sounds kind of like what we want. Optional variables. Okay, don't really care about all of that. Methods not covered by tests. Okay, usage is you grab the Insta, you create a new Insta. Gotcha. Okay. Authentication allows you to access private profiles as long as you follow them. Okay, well, we're not going to authenticate. We're just going to try it without importing your session ID. You go to Instagram, log in. I'm not going to import a session ID either. That's smooth code. So then authenticate, we're not really going to authenticate. If authentication is successful, you'll get that. So we're not going to authenticate. If your session is invalid, you'll get a 401. Yada may be supported in the future. Okay, cool. So get, the method allows you to get specific elements from Instagram while you know exactly what you're looking for. So here we go, errors handling made. Get may return errors in two following cases: request error, parsing error. So fail to get data from Instagram. Okay, all of that other stuff. Cool. So get profile by username. This is exactly what we want. So here we go. Insta client get profile, and we pass in the profile, and it's going to return to us the profile, and we can do some stuff with the profile. So the result that we will get is we'll get an ID string. So this is the Instagram identifier only used for stories. The name, so the public full name, the picture, bio, website, private access, verified followers, post, last post, all of that information, user block. Cool. So that's what we're going to do on this one is grab a user's information. So let's do that real quick. So in order to use this package, we need to npm install it. So npm install Instagram --save. Cool. So let's do that and come over there and we'll do paste. Paste. Bet. Get our Instagram. Cool. Now we got our Instagram package. How do we use this package again? Let's come back over here, usage. And so we're going to grab it. We're going to import the code at the top. This imports our Instagram package right there. And then in order to instantiate an Instagram client, we need to call that second line right here. So I'm going to say create Insta client, and the client is basically just like a worker. It does the work for you. Cool. So we got our Instagram client. Now, basically what we want to do is run this get profile by username. And so the way that we do it is say Instagram client.get profile, and we pass in the profile username. So that's what we're going to end up doing. We're going to turn this to an async function. Async. And what we'll say is await, and we'll say const user data. User data is equal to await, and what are we awaiting? We're going to await insta dot what is it? Find. What is it? Insta get profile. Insta client dot get profile, and we're gonna pass in the rec dot body right here. Oh, actually, what we'll do is say const. We'll call this username, and we'll set that equal to the rec dot body. And we'll take the username, move that. Take the username, pass it in here. Cool. So this line is going to run, and this is going to go find our user and then all the data for the user, and it's going to put it into this variable. So what we're going to do is do a console dot log of the data, so user data, and then we will do. Actually, we'll do a try here. We'll try to do this, and if we can't, we will catch it. And the way that we will catch it is by just console.logging. I think you get an error, right? Catch E. Yeah. Just console.log. Error. All right. And but what we want to do here is console. Yeah, okay, so we tried it. And then we will console.log the user data, and then we'll just do a res.send. We'll do JSON, and we'll just say message. Or actually, we'll just send the user data. So we'll just send the user data, and we'll say 200. Cool. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if we get some user data. All right, so we're gonna come here. And let's see, the username that we're going to look up is streetcoder Nate. And so let's save this and let's send the request. Okay, the request was sent and we got okay back. Let's see. Oh, wait, I see it. I know what happened. What happened is it didn't pick up that we got a new package. Handle user data is not defined. Oh, wait, user data isn't defined. Const user data. Oh, wait. Let's see why. We got to put that in the try. Or else I didn't define it outside the try. All right. And now, moment of truth. All right. Let's see. We got an error. What's the error? Or did we get an error? Don't look like an error. An error cannot set headers after they are sent to the client. Oh, okay. So we actually got the value back. We got the code back, or we got the data back right here. This is dope. We actually got the data back. Let's go. But we got an error sending the message back because error HTTP header sent. So what I got to do is send these headers correctly. So let's come back here, and basically this is a message. This is an error sending our code back to the front end. So we need a way to send this back to the front end, and the way that we send it back to the front end is a subclass. Yeah, you are allowed to call rest.set header. Rest.write. In your case, rest.redirect. Let's see, comprehensive list. I'm trying to write. I think, can't you just do set header, plain text, content type, HTML? Can't you just do the good middleware version? Middleware. I need the middleware for where you could just like set the header for you. All right. Let's see. Oh, I see what it's saying. Let's see. So we got to come back to, let's take this off, take that off. Let's take that off real quick. And we got to come here. And what it's saying is, I'm doing where is that? Oh, that's why. Yep. This should be status. All right. Saying that. Damn, I still got this okay again. All right, still trying to set the fucking headers. Cannot set headers after they are sent. Get my data. That's the thing. I get my data. Oh man, I just gotta. It's saying this headers thing. Let's get this headers thing right. Let's see. Okay. Data, but you can't send the damn data back to the front end. Can't set headers after they. Come on, somebody. I know how to do this. You need to add the return. Oh, I didn't add return. Let me see. You damn right. I did not add return. I don't think. Yeah, return. It's been a minute. Let's see, return. So now let's try to send that. Let's send. Damn. Okay, even after adding the return. So it's not return. Let's go server. It's not the return JSON. Let's set the status first. Rookie mistakes, Nate. Let me take the status off. Why am I returning a username? Should be returning user data. I wonder if that was the issue. 429. I thought that was printed out. 429 is printed out now. What the hell? Let's see. Console.log. What the fuck is with console.log? The console.log right here. Let's do console.log here. Well, yeah. So we test. It's saying 429. What the fuck does that mean? Did I make too many damn requests? Let me see. I think that's probably what that means. HTTP 429. Too many requests. Yeah. Free API. I gotta wait. Damn. Okay. Too many requests. All right. So this should work though now that I'm able to send it back to the front end. Fuck. Let's see if I can make that request now. How many damn requests can I send? Can I configure this to send a different amount of requests? All right. That sucks for real. For real. This is why you want to use free ones or paid ones. It's all good. Not damn scraper, though. NPM scraper. Well, you know what we can do while we waiting on that one is, wait, that's the one. Okay. So, let's see, 429. Okay, too many requests. How do I fix this? How do I fix the limit? Okay, get requests into filing cases. Yep. So how long do we wait? Instagram, too many requests. Instagram, API, 429. All right, so we have to make it secure to do that. And so what we gonna do is we know that we connected and we get in the data because we've seen it multiple times right here. This is the data, as you can see, like we have the caption, time to tap in, hashtag street coders today, yada yada, and then they got the link. Actually, we could follow the link to the thumbnail right there. That's the thumbnail right there. So we got the code. I mean, we got the data from here, but because we're using a free one, the free API, and I was making, I only think I made like what, 5-6 requests, but I guess because I made so many damn requests per hour without using the paid one or authenticating, we gotta wait a second to use it again. So what we're gonna do in these last 10 minutes is create the front end for this. So basically the front end is just gonna ask you for the username. And so it's gonna ask for the username, and then when you click the button, it's gonna send that username. How we were doing it over here in sending this request right here, we're gonna do that. We're gonna send this request from the front end though. So let's go ahead and create our front end so our front end can send that request to our back end. And so right now we got the welcome to the scraper. And I know that in our front end, we're gonna need a container. So just call this the main container, main dash container, like that. And so inside the main container, we're gonna have two different containers. We're gonna have one container that asks you to, there's gonna be a few containers. One container is gonna be for the input in the button. So we're gonna call that container the name or enter username container. So div enter dash username. And we'll call that container. Bet. Cool. And so inside this div, we're gonna have an inputs, and then the placeholder will be enter username you want to stalk. That's what we're gonna say. Enter username you want to stalk. All right, bet. And then we're gonna have this button, and this button is gonna say find user data, like that. Cool. So that's inside our main container. All right. Also inside our main container. So this one is just gonna be. Let me add a message right here. This is gonna be for search the username. Okay. And then this is where username profile results will be shown. That's where the username profile results will be shown. Cool. And so we'll say div. We'll say username dash profile dash results. All right. And so in our profile results, what are we going to have in our profile results? We can come back down here and we can see some stuff. And so what we can see is it tells us, it gives us like all this information for each post. So let's see. It gives us ID of the post, the picture, bio. Oh, wait, cool. Actually, this is my user information actually. And then this is my last post. So they show me my last post, maybe the last few posts. So what I'm actually going to show is I'm going to show my name, which is Nate Baker. I can actually show my profile picture, put my bio up there. And then let's say website, and I'll put my follower count, the amount of people I'm following, and then a number of posts. So that's what we're gonna show. So let's see. I need to show name. I need to show, what is it? It's gonna be like name. And so this is kind of where I like to draw it out to kind of see like what I'm actually showing on here. So let's see, but let's think about this again. So we showing my name, my picture. So if I'm thinking about it, I can put my picture on the side, put my picture on the left-hand side. I can put my name coming across the top. Or how so? If I come back to here, let's see. I can just have my picture load right here. Then I have my username. It would be like username. Say username, and then my username pop up under there. Followers, number of followers, whatnot, and then the last one. Okay, just basic like that. Cool. That's all we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is then, so basically inside of here, we need another div for the image. We're gonna call this one image dash container, like that. And then we'll throw an image up in here like that. And right now it doesn't have a source. That's cool. Yeah. So right now I don't have a source or anything like that. That's fine. So that's our image and our image container. So then we're gonna need another container. And then this container, what we gonna have inside of it, we're gonna have we're gonna have two containers inside this container. This container is gonna be for like the words at the bottom that pop up. So it'll be like username, whatnot. So we'll call this the user data container. User data container. That cool. And so inside the user data container, we're gonna have another container that's gonna have the top row. So we'll call this one top row. And inside the top row, we're gonna have like a few, let's call them H3s. So we're gonna have H3, and there we'll have the class of let's say labels. Let's call them top row label. top row label like that. And then it's going to be how many of them times 3? Yeah, cool. And then inside this one, I'm going to say, yeah, they're going to have what they have. Right now, I'm just building out this basic. Actually, yeah, let me just build this basic. Let me build this basic thing out. So I'm just going to say little pic like that. And I'm just going to grab a basic picture. Where's that one at? I just loaded from Instagram. This one I'll load right here. Yep, that one. I'll do this one. We'll load this one at the source. All right, cool. And here, what I said, we're gonna do username, followers, following, and then number of posts. So number of posts. Cool. And so that's the user data. And we're gonna copy this down, and this one's gonna be that was user data container. Oh wait, user data, and that was top row. So this one we're gonna need bottom row. And instead of those being H3s, these will be P tags. And this would be P, and it will say, what's that top row? This would be bottom row, info. We'll call this info, and it's gonna be times 4. And so the first one will be my username. So I'll just say street coder Nate for now. Amount of followers, 900. Following, let's go 1,000. Number of posts, 35. And this is what this is going to look like after our input elements. So after we search, this is going to pop up. But first we need to style this all up, and then add the JavaScript for it to pop up when we press the search and the data comes back. So it's gonna be real quick. Let's style up this CSS right here. And the way I like to style up my CSS is I click this little inspect tool. I'll see that this is inside of a div, like so. What I'm actually going to do is move this welcome inside of that main div like this. Yep, move the welcome inside the main div. Where's the welcome at? Right here. I'll move that down here. Cool. It's inside the main div. Bet. And so what I'm going to do with the main div, the main container, I'm going to come to the CSS. And I'm going to go custom styles. Bring that down. And I'm going to say dot main container. Then my main container, I'm going to say the min height is 100 VH. So this makes this min height 100 VH. Cool. Now, what I also want to do is make this a display flex. And I'm going to put the flex direction column. That doesn't do much. Cool. And then inside of the main container, there is an H1. Also, I'm going to make the main container position absolute or position relative, so that I can make this position absolute. And I'll set its top to 0. And then I will make this say justify content center and align items. Center. here, refresh. Dope. Dope. All right. And yep. So then what we're gonna do is put a padding one around like that. Cool. Let's put a background color of the whole main container. We'll do background color green. Actually, let's go with this one. Start there. Let's go somewhere around here. Dope. Cool. And now what we're gonna do is turn this probably white. So let's turn that color white. Color white. Let's see what wheat look like. Wheat not bad. We'll go wheat. All right. And then we'll say text transformation. Text transform. And we'll say uppercase. Or I mean capital. Web scraper. And we'll give it some more font. Say font size is 3 rem. Cool. Dope. And we'll say justify content center. Or align. Or text align center. Cool. So now if I start resizing the browser, stays in the center. Should stay in the center. Oh, wrong part. Text align. Oh yeah, right here. Text align center. Oh, I didn't say that. There we go. Cool. All right, bet. Text align center. Bet. So now what we want to do is set this up right. What I want is this part on top and the button on the bottom. So I'm going to come over here and check this out and realize these two are in the same div called enter user container. So we're going to call our CSS and go enter user container, and we'll say justify. We'll say display flex, and we'll say flex direction is row or column, and that makes this like this. Oh yeah, and then the button. Enter user container, enter user name container, enter user name container. I'm like, wait a minute. That should have done something. There we go. Cool. All right. Looking good so far. Bet. Let's put space in between. Where we at? We are here. Let's put some padding. Let's do padding. And let's do 2 rem. Something like that. Yep, that looks smooth. So we'll come here. Padding. We'll go to rem. Cool. Refresh. And then we're going to put some padding in between the two. Or some margin. Let's do some margin on the button. So we'll do this. And come down here. And go button. And we'll say margin. And we'll just do a margin top, actually. Margin top of 2 rem. 2 rem. And what that look like? A little too far. Let's go 1 rem. All right, cool. And then for this input element, we're going to put a better background. Let's see if I do a background color of weeks. See what that does. That's the button. My input. All right, and then let's see. placeholder. The placeholder, we're gonna turn this color white. Too bad. We have some padding going around. Actually, we'll put the padding on input. There we go. That's better. And we'll take it down to 0.5. Okay. Enter username. And then we'll do text transform. And we'll say capitalize. Cool. Enter username. All right, bet. So for this button, we want to say for the button, we want to do it on hover state. And we want to turn the cursor to a pointer. Cool. And let's give it some color. Let's see. Also, I definitely rounded the borders. Input border radius is 0.3 round. That better. And border style none. Cool. Cool. All right, back to the name. Color. So we input color be white. So I don't think I like white. Let's make it black. And some black. Okay. Turn opacity down. 12.7. 3. 5. Okay, so I got that one, and then we're gonna turn this button. What color will look good with that? Let's go with that same green. This one for the button. Darker. Something like that. Okay. And then we'll turn the color of the piece column white. And then we'll take the border style. And okay, that's cool. That's what input. Wait. This is what design it really is. Okay, cool. All right, bet. Okay, so now what we can do is put in the value for Nate, and we can press there, and nothing happens. So what we want to do now is when we press find user is take this data and let's just print it to the console, which is right here. So let's take that data and print it to the console. Cannot load that page due to access control. Fuck. Okay. How the fuck? How? So it sends me the data, but I can't show that one. Okay. All right. So yeah, what we're going to need is a JavaScript file. Excuse me. So we'll create a new JavaScript file, call this one index.js. And inside the index.js, all we do is do a console.log, and we'll say console.log. We'll simply just say loaded. And what we're going to do is first load this file inside the index.html. So come here to the top, and let's do script, and we'll do ./js ./js/index.js. Cool, but what we also will say is deferred. Cool. All right, now we got our JS file. Come over here, refresh. It should say loaded as it does. Cool. So now our JavaScript file loaded. What do we want to do with JavaScript? So JavaScript, I know what I want to do. I know I'm going to need access to the button element. So I'm going to go button element, and that's going to be document dot query selector. Query selector, and what's my query selector? I'm gonna grab my button that I want. And I know I was selecting my button this way, so I'll grab it that way as well. The query selector, like that. I can also grab my input element because I know I'm gonna need that. So I'm gonna come here. I'll go input element. And turn this one to input. Cool. Got my input element, got my button element, got those two. All right, bet. So what I want to do is add an event listener onto the button. So button element dot add event listener, and the listener I want to listen to is click. And I'm gonna pass in a callback function. And what I want to do is simply, if I'm clicked, what I want to do is check the input element. So I want to do a console.log first I just do a if input element dot value doesn't equal empty, or doesn't equal empty, or input value, or and doesn't equal that, and it doesn't equal this, and doesn't equal no. Then I want to do is console.log input value or implement that value. Okay, else log. There's no value. There is no value and inputs. So I'm gonna refresh. And I'm gonna select that, and you'll see there's no value in the input. But now if I put Nate and enter, You see Nate is printed. So cool. We get Nate back. So now that we got Nate and we know that Nate comes inside of input that value, let's send that information to the back end. And the way that we can send that to the back end is using the XML API. So HTTP equals XML HTTPS request like that, and we'll create a new one. So it's a new, and then now that it's a new one, we can say http.onload, which means this is a callback function that will run when there's data loaded into this object. And so when there's data loaded into this object, what we're going to simply do is console.log that data to the screen. Console.log, and let's just call this data. And we're just going to log that data to the screen like that. And so we'll say http.open of http.open. And what we're going to do is open a connection. What's the connection? We're opening it to http ://localhost 5000 slash what we're doing, get user or find user like that. And I actually think, yeah, so yeah, the first one is the method actually. Yeah, so we're gonna say post. And then it needs the string, username, password. Okay, I need to be able to put post data though. So before I send, oh yeah, and send, I can put my post data, which is my body. Yep. And I will say username, or what was it? It was Insta name, and my Insta name will be username equals input elements dot value, and Insta name is the username, like that. Whew. All right, that sent that to the back end. All right, wow. All right, so now as long as my name is a no, it's gonna send a post request to my back end. So let me actually update my back end right now because it's not sending back. It's erroring out because I can't connect to this damn can't get the damn data right now from Instagram because I don't did too many. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do try. I'm gonna get console.log the user data. Where does user data come from? Oh, right there. Okay. So all I'm gonna do is just do a res JSON for now, so that you see that we're making a connection to the back end, and we'll say message, and we'll say connected to the back end successfully. Yo data was, and then we'll just say what the data was, which is the username. And we'll go username, backtick, another backtick, like that. Cool. That's all we're gonna do is when they connect here to find user, we'll just send the data, or we'll just send a message back that says connected to the backend successfully. Your data was username. Cool. So let's do that. Let's refresh. And now if I go Nate and I go find user, we get a object back. And so let's go to the network and we click on find user. And what we get back is message is okay. How do we get message is okay? Oh, this is why this is what it kept saying. Okay, message is okay. Wow. Okay, let's refresh this. Anybody that was watching that? I saw that, man. That was a dumb mistake, huh? Let's see if I can actually connect to fucking Instagram right now. Okay, so don't need that anymore. And let's take that out. And let's see if I can connect to Instagram. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully I can connect to Instagram while I just created the front end. But I've seen that the front end just connected to the back end though. So we get our user data, which is gonna be the username. We don't need to console.log it. We're just gonna send that back to the front end. And then the front end, what does the front end do with it? We're gonna save that. So once the front end get this information back on the JavaScript, the front end will simply on load. It's gonna print out the data. Okay. So what we'll do is say on load. We'll say data like JSON. That's like return data.json. So we can say, or just console.log the data right now and just see what happens. Okay. Refresh, and we'll go Nate, or street coder Nate, str, street coder Nate, find user. Let's see. What happened? What happened? Got that 429 again. Too many authentication. Come back to this one. But okay. So basically, let's say, so what I'm gonna do right now is actually just go ahead and I'm gonna comment out that code for the server that's making a connection to, comment this out. This is going to be makes connection to Instagram whenever this hour expires. Okay, but what we'll do right now is just return, we're just gonna return res.json, and it's just gonna have a message in it. Success. Okay, cool. So basically, what we should do is find user, refresh, and we'll do Nate or street coder Nate, and what we should get back is message that says successful. Cool. And it should just console.log that message. Okay, okay. Yep, because it needed to turn into JSON. So where is that at? That's in the index of JSON. So we need to call this is const JSON equal. Actually, let's call this one JSON. JSON. All right, let's just call this XML. Actually, let's call this. I know what this is. I'm tripping. It's not. We need to do console.log http dot it's like response text. There we go. I'm tripping. All right. So we refresh the page. Now if I do Nate, coder Nate, bang. And the message is successful. Printed that out. Cool. So basically now what I want to do is what I want to do is when I get the data back from the server, I want I want this information to show up down here when the data comes back from the server. I don't want it to show up before. I need it to show up after the data comes back from the server. So what I want to do is I want to hide this information first. And so what I typically do in order to hide information is I don't need, let's see. Well, first, before I hide it, I like to style it. So let's just find a picture that I can load real quick. Um, pick from, actually, you know what I'll do is just bring a picture in to the program right here. So I'll bring this picture into the program. Let's just do this. And right now, fuck it, I'll put it under my styles. But what I'm gonna do is create a new folder called images. And then I'll put that up in there. Cool. Yep, move that over there. And I'll just call this background. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this background is I'm actually gonna load this background instead of the image that's trying to load right here. I'm gonna just load this background. And this background, that's not background like that. Why the hell? Okay. I know where it is. All right. We'll go // images background. Cool. So it loads now. The background. Cool. Right there. So what I'm gonna do is style this background down to fit inside its container, and the container is going to be have a height and a width. Image container. It's gonna have a height and a width. Image container will have a height and a width. Height will be 30 round. No, width will also be 30 round. And then the image inside of the container also this will have a max width 100%. Now this should be responsive. It's not responsive. It should have been responsive. Should be responsive. Why are you not responsive? Oh wait, did that refresh? No, not responsive. Let's see. Container, image container, 30 round, 30 round. And the image inside of it. Is it the max width or is it the width? It's supposed to be shrinking down. It's shrinking definitely the size of the container. I think the container. The container is shrinking. Let's get to. Oh, I got you. Max. Okay, max here. Okay. So now that should be free to. Let's do responsive. Okay, responsive is on what class on the image height auto. Maybe it is just not this browser window, and everything else is in as well. Though. Let's scrolling over, and it's the words at the top too. It's whatever. Okay, well, we got that there, and what we gonna do is that doesn't okay. So yeah, computer science. All right, so what we want to do is lay these names in the row flat. So that one's going to be pretty simple. Let's just come here, inspect element, and come here. And all we have to do is just do a display, and we flex it, and you'll see that goes like that. And then we'll just add some padding in between. We'll go to H3s. We'll add some padding. All right, cool. So basically, we know we need to come to the top row, and then we also need to come to the top row label. So come to the top row, and the top row we need, what do we need on the top row? We need display flex. And then the top row label, we need some padding in between everything. Or actually, what we can just do is justify content, space evenly. Now we can come back over here and refresh the page. Bring this back up. Okay, why is this div not 100%? Where we at? Am I looking at the wrong? What was I doing before? User image results. I do the top row right here, but this is not 100%. None of these are 100% perfect. That one's 100. So let's see if I make this one 100. Styles with Windows 100%. That's the one right there. Okay. And that is username profile results. Go there. Username profile results. That width to 100. There we go. Now, I'm going to place this hoe right in the middle. Margin. Enter. And then we're going to do the same thing here that we just did there. So what do we do? We're here, and all we did here was just add this there. Okay, and so this is the bottom row. So actually what we can do is just go bottom, up, bottom, dash row. Now we refresh. Ooh, almost. So instead of creating their whole row, what I'm gonna do is change up my structure, and each one of these divs, where it says top row. So what I want to do is actually just try to like nest this with this. Let's see if I put this here. What does that look like? Username, street coordinate. Yeah, I like that right here. Okay, cool. That's what we're going to end up doing. 900,000, and then because as you can see, you can design on the fly. Okay, cool. So, but we want to change these to different values. So I know that's in the H3P. So what I'm gonna do is go select all my H3P tags, and I'm gonna say font weight would be just like 400. Fresh that font weight 400. Let's also go. Let's also try to on the H3s for H3 for call it top row label. Top row label. Let's try to end up this in the middle. So text, start text align, center like that. Centered, and then we'll put the white shit right here. I'll make them white, so color white. Wheat. I'm gonna color wheat. And then I'm gonna do this one. Free. And what I'll say is text transform. It's gonna be uppercase. Yeah. H3. Gotta take this one down. Oops. Gotta take this one down to lowercase. All right. All right, so not too bad. All right. So basically, when the data comes back from Instagram, that data is going to be loaded right under here, and then the picture that we have on whoever profile will be loaded right here. So that's real cool. And so we will be able to search username, and then we'll find the person, and then this will be loaded. But right now, what we have is that this is already loaded on here. So what I'm gonna do, even though Instagram is blocking us right now, what I'm gonna do is remove this part from the screen and just have enter username, and then after the user, press find username, and then the data comes back in the console over here, message successful. I'll have this pop up, and then that remove, and we'll just call it quit after that. So that'd be a little basic web scraper from Instagram, using the front end and the back end. Okay, a little bit of CSS. So let's end JavaScript on the front end and back end. Honestly, this is a full stack application. All right, cool. So now we got that part. Yeah, we need this to disappear. So what we're gonna do is come over here to this index.html, and this is the username results. So we're gonna come here and grab this, and let's see if I have that anywhere. Cool. And right now I'm just gonna say, what is it? Display none. Right now. So if I come back over here, it's not there. Nate. All right. So now that I have Nate and I press enter, or and I clicked here, and the message came out on the side, I want this to disappear, and I want that. I want the username profile results to pop up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to go to the JavaScript in order to do that. On the JavaScript, and I'm gonna have to hit another one of these document.query selectors to get my div, and this div is for username answer, and then I set that equal to document.query selector. Yep. And I pass in the query selector I want. Bang. So now I got the username. So what I want to do is, this is also on the button click. So on the button click, this one is, actually this is going to happen after the load. So this is going to happen after the load. So instead of printing out the text, what we're going to do is make the answer div pop up on the screen. Pop up on the screen. All right, so the way that we're going to do that is we have a reference to the answer div, and then we go access the style property, and we say on display, and y'all saw me set it to none earlier. I'm gonna just set it back to the default, which is this. So let's see what happens. I'll go Nate. I enter. Okay, nothing happened. All right. So we say username dot set style. Script. Get element by ID dot style dot color. I did that. Let's say display. Yeah, it should still be there. Display none. Trying to set the display real quick. Represents the type, the visibility, difference between display and visibility. Nah, I don't want this visibility. So I set the display already to none, and I click on here. Mm, let's see. Yeah, because this is on here. All right, yeah. Bro, what? I can't click on it. I should have displayed. All right, there we go. It's got a display of none. Right. So I should be able to username profile results as I did. Username profile results. That gives me the username right there. The username dot style dot display dot display block. Links. Okay, yeah, display block is what it was. All right, display block. Put it back on here. And what I want to do with this one is actually remove that one. So that one is enter username container. So we're gonna go enter container. We're gonna call this one const enter container, and that's gonna equal document dot query selector. And we'll do that. Enter container. And so if I'm making the username container to a block, I'll make the enter container into none on the display. Right, making it very interactive. So Nate, boom, pops up my data right here. So let's find street coder Nate pretty much. We're gonna find user data, and then my user data will come up. Let's see if I can ping. Well, actually, this would be a good place to make a commit. So get status, and it will show us that we have these two new files and that as well. I want to send up my test.res file, so I'm gonna add that to my package.json, or I'm gonna add that to my get ignore. Damn. All right, add that to my get ignore. And now if I do yes, that goes away. And I'm gonna do a get add because I want to add everything that I modified and as well underneath the public folder. Then I can do a get status again and get commit -m, and I'll say created front end and connected it to the back end. Cool. All right, then I'm gonna just push these up, get push to GitHub, main branch. Cool, let's go check out GitHub real quick. Okay, got my package up there, sounds good. All right, let's see. I'm gonna call it quits after this if I can't connect to what's the fuck, Instagram, because it's not gonna be worth waiting the time. But yeah, see the code right here, and y'all see the repo is online, so you can add a code as well. All right, so let's run it. Let's connect. Let's see what happens when we connect. We're going refresh. Let's say street coder Nate. Yep, didn't come back. Still got the 423 or 429. Yep, got the 429. All right, made too many. But yep, that's it though. Yeah, pretty much got it though. Like I'm gonna just leave this code uncommented actually, because it will work on y'all systems pretty much. I gotta wait. I made too many. cost. I mean, I guess I could like refresh a cache or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's pretty much it for real. For real, that was yeah. What was it? 2 hours? That was a grip. We made it though. Got an app where we come in here, put our name in it. It's gonna take the name out of here. With the JavaScript, it's gonna take the name. It's gonna listen from. It's gonna take the name from the input, save it into the user variable, grab this XML object, set the onload handler, connect to the server, send it some data, handle it with the onload, and if nothing happens, actually let's just also send back a message. Let's say res.send. Let's just say error. Do error like that. So now we come over here, refresh, innate should be in back error. Oh, that says resize. That res. Okay. And we put Nate. It didn't return. Oh, wait a minute. I think we might have got something. Oh, wait. I'm tripping. I'm at the wrong spot. Front end. All right, that was the back end. Server, and what we're gonna say is res.json, and we'll send a message. Send a message that says error. Cool. All right, now we refresh. Street coder roots. And we go find, and message was error. Okay. Obviously, we can print out something different other than this if there's an error, but I already killed most of your time, so we're gonna call it a night. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Like, as I can see, it's not that difficult to really send data from the back end to the front end, connect the API. It really wasn't even that hard for real. Like, I did all of this like right here. Actually, let me just send this code up to GitHub one more time. So we do a git add, or let me do a git status, make sure I got no extra stuff. Server, git commit -m. We'll just call it final files. And git push GitHub. All my changes all done here. Yep. And call it quits. All right, hold up. We got turn that one off. Clean that one up. Trash that. All right, y'all. That was the code. That was about 2 hours. Where we at? All right, that was about 2 hours. We done now. Congratulations, you made it through. Got you a little was interactive little Instagram scraper with a front end, and you can make the front end. You can clean up the front end and do whatever you want to do with it. Right now, I just got it with some basic data. I didn't put in the data that comes back from the server, but you look up a couple videos and whatnot, you should be able to just replace all of these values right here on this bottom line with the data that comes back from the server. This value, that value, and that value back from the server. But yeah, that's about it. I'm done here. I'll see y'all in the next videos. Peace. How do I end this hoe?